Hi everyone and welcome to today's session. I am Iqba Manzoor, the marketing manager here at StrategistHub. Today we are excited to talk about Claude Code in production, how we ship AI feature 2x faster. This is not just another conversation about AI. We are diving into real world application and how we are using AI, especially tool like Claude, to deliver the feature at lightning speed. Guys, I will be honest with you. I am not someone who's writing code daily. But even where I sit, operations, communications, and day to day execution, AI has significantly changed how I work. It's improved my thinking, my productivity, and even how I manage my personal and professional tasks. So today's conversation is really about what does AI actually change inside working engineering team. And to help answer that, I am joined by three people who are deep in it every day. Let me introduce them briefly. Rizwan Atta, Engineering Manager, working hands-on with AI native system and production grade workflows. Hassan Mahmood, Head of Engineering, leading AI native execution and architecture across complex systems. Next one is Arslan, Senior AI native engineer, focus on building and scaling real world implementations. Great to have you guys here. So guys, I have seen you are handling multiple projects, complex system, constant R&D, but recently you are delivering faster. You are exploring more, and honestly, you look less stressed doing it. And what has changed? Let's talk about it. How exactly is AI changing the way you work? Rizwan, let's start from you, especially from shipping the project perspective.
Hi, guys. Thank you for this opportunity. Glad to be here. There's so much to talk about. There's like we can keep an on and on discussion on AI. The world is changing so fast, and it's actually getting harder and harder to adopt. So I'm here to represent how we at Strategist Hub are working as a tech team in multiple technologies, given the era of AI. There's so much like cloud against this word AI. So I would love to have a little talk, uh, like how we use AI and what should be our main focus on. So let's begin with a screen share. Please allow me a screen share here. Thank you. And what's better than looking at a picture than saying words? So let's go. Okay. Okay. So let's start with the basic word around. The word is like the famous word, the buzzword. I guess one of the main word is AI. Uh, so what is AI? How do we define it? So the things that started in this era when we came in, it was basically just a small tool that was helping in coding assistance. So we can say the words were like code completion, AI, suggestions in our editors. Suddenly, a boom came up. A lot of companies went commercial from just basic tool use to targeting engineers. It went on with everybody. So the moment it exploded, AI changed everything, and everybody started using it. And apparently, they were using one specific type of a tool, and they were considering it an AI. Okay. So our main topic comes to one of the main companies that actually made this AI commercial. So there were so many, like we had OpenAI. So that's a company name, not a tool name. Apparently, it's not copy pasting. I'm sorry for my bad drawing here. Okay. Then another company pops up called Anthropic. So we can go into politics about these ones, but let's stick to very basic, like how we use it. So a few companies came up. They try to commercialize AI in our everyday life. So OpenAI was the one who went on in multiple fields of daily life for daily people, while Anthropic stick to our technology based only focus. So their first product was an AI orchestration layer called Claude. So In this Claude, they went up with multiple tooling systems, helping with codes while doing chat-based suggestions and many other things. So in this Claude, this is the topic that we're going to work on today, that we as a Strategist Hub team picked up a specialist AI, which was Claude by Anthropic, to work in our daily life professional projects. In Claude, there was, again, things are getting up and up. So many tools popped up. In Claude, we have a basic tool called Cowork. Then same goes like basic chatting, like we do with ChatGPT or something. Then you can say they launched a coding agent. So that's a term you should keep an eye for. So coding agent, which is called Claude Code. So of course, the graph is getting bigger, and every single day when we wake up, Anthropic has launched something under this Claude flag. Either it's a desktop app, mobile app, routines, or something more. So our main focus sticks to Claude Code for this webinar, but this is the main gist of it. AI popped up as a vague term. It was used by only few professionals at the start. Then a few companies came up and they made it to be very commercialized with everyone. And we are choosing for this webinar a company called Anthropic, their tool as Claude. And in the Claude tool, we're going towards the one of their main product called Claude Code. So I hope so things are clear on this one. So let's start with Claude Code. How does this thing work? How do we use it and where do we use it? There are so many applications how you can apply this Claude Code in your daily life routine. So I would say we should always get things from the original vendors. So one of our original vendor is Anthropic itself. So we'll go to Claude Code's own website, Claude Code download. So let's like Claude Code, and they should be having an own website called claudecode.com. And in this one, claude.com, we can just directly download. So apparently you see it's not saying Claude Code, it's just saying Claude, which means if we download this, we will have all these three capabilities plus many more. So there are daily updates coming on this. So, but we want to only focus on Claude Code. So if we go down from here, you will try to look and see that they have been trying to have a single orchestration layer, which is Claude, and asking you to run things in it. But our focus is Claude Code. So if I go into their products in their hero footer, if I go to Claude Code, they have a few more instructions how things work. You can make it work in your own VS Code tool or in their Claude desktop application themselves, or you can attach it into your basic terminal and use it there. You can use it from your phone. So much more to talk about here. Let's start with very basic. So you'll just go here and open your terminal. For terminal, I'm using Ghosty here. If we focus at Ghosty at the moment, let's just, okay, apparently. Okay, so I'm on a Mac here. So I will just use the command they gave me, like brew install Claude Code. Okay. Yeah. So based on this, it will just install Claude Code in my terminal. I already have it, so I'll just make sure I'll run that right now. Then comes to what project we work on and how to run Claude Code on. So let's get into a project, okay, and then we'll go from there. So let's say we have a project called Passflow Demo, and I want to run Claude Code in it. So after installing this in a terminal, all I need to do is write the word Claude, and it should open the Claude here, and we have a Claude running for us. So of course, my Claude looks a little different than usual because it already has, I have already done a login in it. Let's quickly log out. It looks like a very basic Claude. So if I write Claude one more time, so this is how it will start for you as the very basic one. You can decide what mode you're in. At the moment, I'm using light mode. So let's stick to the light mode. And then it will ask you which subscription you have. So there are many subscriptions, as it's mentioned, Pro, Max, Steam, and Enterprise. I'll use a Max subscription just for the demo purposes. So I'll get into it right now. And the moment I'll go into my website, it will ask me to log in. I'm logged in my Claude Code account in browser. So that's why it's asking me to authorize. The moment I'll log in and authorize, it will just say that, okay, you're ready for Claude. So I'm already here. I can just press enter. And it's asking me that be careful, watch what you're typing, prompt injection, security issues. We have team with us. They will talk more on this part. So I'm just gonna quickly skip. So there we go. So a basic Claude running in a project. So here you can see it in which directory I'm in right now. How can I start? So it gives me tips and tricks if I want to do something. They have their buddy feature. So there's like /buddy. So it's sort of a companion. They just added it as a fashion. For now, it's just a free. So there will be so many features coming up. How to keep yourself adapted. We have Arslan sir with us. He will be talking a little bit about how we will, be adapting with the Claude Code part here. Okay, so let's go to the first code, like how I would use it. I know I'm going way too fast. Is this making sense, guys?
No, no, no. No,
Okay.
no, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Thank you. So let's start with the first prompt here. So let's say I'm in a project I'm totally unaware of what it is doing. I will say like map the architecture for me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where does auth is happening? Auth is like login etc is happening, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I would go for more of I know this is a very basic project, so I'll say routes are unprotected, etc. So I got a problem. Let's say I have a project in which I just have an auth and auth is not working. So I would like to give a very valuable prompt to Claude at the start, so it doesn't need to do all these things on its own. So the first prompt will go in a fashion like, okay, look at the architecture, auth, where is auth happening, how the routes are working. At the moment I'm going to add that, it will take this and it will start looking into it. So at this moment, there's one thing I want to emphasize on. It doesn't show you that which Claude Code model you are running in. Claude Code runs on Anthropic AI models. By default, when you run, they go on their one of the most expensive model called Opus. It's a very minimal word written here. That's something that you have to live with when you're working the same thing in a cloud, in a terminal. We'll do the same command, but in our VS Code to show you how things are working. So here you see, we are already getting a remarkable output from it. So let's start with the first one. It gave me an architecture, how this project is already set up. Then it went on and showed me how the code and auth is flowing up and how which routes are actually not working properly. There's an auth issue here. So there's no token going, which means there's a bearer token mismatch. And then there are some security gaps that AI already tried me to look at. So this is how I got into it. But I feel like for a new beginner, this is great, right? This is great. But how would I emphasize AI to give me a better response in a way that I like, not just print text and boxes in a terminal like it just did? For that purposes, what we can do is we'll just write the first command from Claude Code called init. What init does is you take a project, the first project, anything that you got into starting working. Once you init, what it will do is it will run a whole architecture search and give you a raw diagram, a template to start with. And you will be able to force your AI to work in a fashion that you want based on that Claude markdown file. So as we are working with Claude, it's Claude. If you are working with any other AI, they have their agent MDs or majorly Claude MD, majorly markdown files based on their own conventions. But Claude starts with their Claude MD. So the moment I wrote the letter / in the window, it gave me a few commands. There are a few more that I'm going to talk about, but at this moment, let's start with the basic init. The moment I will init, it will create a markdown file. Now the thing is, it feels like a lock in here. Claude Code locks us. It feels like I cannot do anything while I'm stuck in this window. I have to wait for the response. Here comes another tool, VS Code. So what we can do is we'll just quickly open VS Code window here. So in this one, let's start with how Claude Code is working in VS Code. So in your VS Code, all you need to do is go to your extensions and write the word Claude. And it should be an authentic extension by the company owned. As I mentioned, Anthropic owns Claude. So they have their Claude Code window for VS Code. The moment you will install it, I have already installed, you will see the icon appearing on this side. You can quickly close this ones, and let's start with the chat window on this side. So let's see. I have a few sessions going on already. So sorry, I missed it. Okay. Okay, so you will have a Claude window here, and you run it here. It will ask you to start working. The same process that we did in a terminal, you can do here as login. It will ask you for a subscription. You will open your terminal, or open your browser, I'm sorry, and just authorize it. The same thing that we just did with the VS Code. Terminal. Now it happens here as well. What I like from this part is now we have an AI on one of our prominent eye side, and we can still do our own research and work while AI is doing something. As you saw, we already ran an init file. It started working on a markdown file, and we are already able to see here. VS Code has this feature to read markdown file in a beautiful fashion. If we click on it, we can able to see things here as well. Here, it's the same thing. It knows what is the project. It has basic things. And sometimes it hallucinates while creating a basic markdown file. You can come up here and double check the conventions if you want to, and the things will start working. So that was a basic intro how to get hands on Claude Code. Of course, you will need a paid subscription to make sure that Claude is working. And that is something that you can, when you sign up for Claude, it will prompt you itself. So without having a paid account, you cannot use Claude Code in any tool, not even their Claude desktop, not even their, VS Code or terminal. That's how pretty much we started. So we saw the first architecture thing. We saw what is a markdown file. And let's say I saw a problem that there's an issue in the project that is regarding, we have a problem of auth, right? So let's come up and let's see how in our in our office how we solve this. The major words that we all have as a team motto is simply see the problem, learn about it, plan, validate, and execute in small sandbox changes. So here the word is sandbox. We use the Git for sandboxing over each change to monitor what was previously done and how it's changed in after the Claude command. So if you are a good reviewer, if you are a good engineer, it's always this mantra that you have to follow. I will say again, plan, validate, execute, and review. So let's start with a plan here. Here we have 3 modes called plan mode and edit mode and ask mode. So in VS Code, you have this, and if you go into your terminal, it already starting updating this. So yeah. So if you write the word / and write the word plan, it will have the plan mode on for you. So it's the same thing that you do here or here. Whatever you taste is, Claude Code is like almost the same based on, it was originally a terminal tool, but they have their official extension for VS Code. Or for any other tool, unless you have an official extension, you won't be able to do much. Make sure you work on the official one. So let's start with the plan mode. So I said like stick into plan. And in the plan mode, what I would like to type is like, let's plan to fix the auth. So as we saw, we can do plan changes here. We start working on this and it will take you, make your plan here and you can read that plan and start executing. I am, for the video and demo purposes, I have already planned a few things to get on. So I'll just quickly take the prompts and start with the working on this. So let's have the first prompt with us. So let's run this prompt. So this was something that like in the auth, in this project, we have a missing feature. Let's add that here. So the moment I added as a prompt in the code, it will start looking into it. It will start making a plan for it. And it will give me a value here. It's showing that I'm in a plan mode right now. If I execute, make it a little big to look at. In the bottom window, it's saying that I'm in a plan mode. It's safe mode. It's gonna like look for the file and give me a markdown and input a plan. It which steps that it will gonna execute on. So let's keep going. Okay. While we are doing this, you can review by yourself in the code. So we have the same code open in our tool as well, which is VS Code, of course. So we can also look ourselves like what's going on and how things are working. There are 2 examples that I'm gonna work on this in this demo. Specifically, one example was that we had a code bug that the bearer token is not working. I asked the plan for it and started working on that. Then we had another bug written like somehow a user is asked for multiple charges from their Stripe backend. Our backend is like charging them more than once. I don't have anything on code on that, but what I did is I went on to Stripe dashboard and I got a few logs from there. And in those logs, I have some information. So what I'll show you that how you can debug and use your Claude Code here to take important data from your servers and make sure that you bring in your own Claude Code and ask for it. Okay, I have logs here. Debug my system, like what is making this thing happening in this fashion. But there's one thing that I want to emphasize on. If you see me, what I'm doing here, the prompt that I write, you can press the up key to just read for the previous history prompts that you have. Okay, so this is a prompt that we just wrote, like add a Redis backend, limit it to just for login, make sure that there's a session against API attempts, like in 15 minutes, you are only allowed to hit login for 5 attempts, and then it blocks you for 15 minutes as a cooldown time. This is, you see, it's a very detailed prompt, but it's not in a very basic language of English. It's going into more of a technical language so that AI doesn't need to jargon English out and take technical terms out of the sentence. You have to start with very basic. If you are, here I would like to pitch a line from a show called The Office. Me can talk 3 words. Why I talk multiple lines. If we can give a prompt in a more technical wording to AI, it will be faster. It will be more better in terms of response. So you see, I didn't say that if I wrote the word here, like, okay, go add a Redis backend, like I want to have some kind of cache via Redis, and on this post, please help me enter. So in this one, there will be a lot of token mismatching and things happening. Having prompts that are more technical savvy will be making your AI work faster. There's while we're doing this, let's learn a bit more about AI here. In this, we can have more models. If you click on like /model, it will ask you. Sorry, it went into a Q prompt. I'm sorry, I pressed the button here. So there's so much more to talk about, I guess, but AI is taking time. Okay, so guys, we just saw a plan is ready. You see something interesting on this window. In the terminal, there's so much information, and I can pass this information to directly a coding agent, and agent can directly work on it. But I would like to skim through my own work first. So just to make sure that things are okay. If you see, it's really hard to scroll down and top to read the plan, and it's too much information coming up. So what we can do is we can open the same plan in our VS Code as well. So you see, it's telling me the plan was made on this location. I'll just copy this. I'll go to my VS Code, and if I write the path into Control P, I have the same plan here. That's what AI gonna execute on. This is how you should use a mix of windows on this. Okay, and let's quickly close this and let's have a plan. Okay, I asked it to use Redis that I already have installed for this endpoint. Do this and this. Then it told me that it's gonna modify this file in Redis. It's gonna write a pool. Nice. In middleware, it's gonna write a create limit function, which is okay. In auth, there should be a middleware application. Nice. So with login and sign up, same goes with the proxy modification. And then there's 2 more things. Okay. Did I ask for tests? No. But I remember in this code structure, when if we read the Claude MD, in the architecture, we have actually test commands, which means we already should have test folders in the application. That's how, here we go. So we have 2 tests already. So AI was intelligent enough. I asked it to do 2 things. And instead of it's just doing that, it went on with my prompt and looked for my code architecture that was in Claude MD and gave me a more structural way to work. So that's how you read the plan. If you feel like this plan is okay, of course, this is okay. Now I'm going to execute on. I approve this plan. I'll just go back to my terminal and I'll say auto accept. And if I want to change all the steps myself, I want to see one by one. We can see one by one as we have already read the plan and we feel okay. So it will start working. So if you see guys here, it again feels like we're stuck in one window, right? having AI doing one thing at a time, it's not that powerful at this moment. So what we can do here is overall, we can work on this based on multiple terminal windows. You can open another terminal window and it should open in the same directory. You can open another Claude window in here. Now, while your one thing is working here, so Redis rate limit work is being happening, you can start working in another fashion. From you can take a new branch here and start working on that, a new agent. So let's do that a little, just for a quick skim. I know I'm running out of time for this, but that's something here. Overall, that's how, if you have a backend issue to work with, right? But what if I want to work on a front end issue? Let's say there's a button that's missing. Let's say there is a input having a validation error. So the errors are showing technical terms in it. So there is a desktop issue, let's say. So what I can do is I can just quickly go in the project, or let's say I have a done project, any project. Let's open a browser window. Okay, so let's quickly take a screenshot from here, and I'll just take the screenshot. You can use any tool, no matter what system you are on, and just go into your terminal, and you can just directly paste this. So I'll copy this picture and just paste it in this window. So the image is pasted here. I can give a bit more technical information again, not just the information. So it's an Exalintra window image. It has a few blobs in it. They are overlapping. I created it with HTML. Help me lose the overlap. Now, if you see, I'm talking very basic English, not technical terms. So what AI will do is AI will hallucinate more. AI will take time more. Okay. So what I can do is, instead of that, I'll just quickly remove this and use something that is very technical here. It's an HTML page in browser. Okay. Even though this is something that I'm doing manual, Claude Code has its own tooling. We can come to it later. But for the time's sake, we are doing it manual. Claude Code actually can go and operate our browser and come in here and give an output to us. But for now, here, fix me the blob overlapping CSS issue in top right column. I gave it where I see the error, what is the issue, and I feel like it's a CSS issue. This is actually this thing, and start working. So what it will do is it will start looking into the image. It will start looking into my terminologies. And if you see, I break my prompt into 3 different action prompts. You see that it has a comma separated prompt function. So this will be an AI going into creating one thing, another thing. At this moment, this image doesn't exist, so I know it's going to hallucinate. But for now, I'll just stop it. In order to stop an action, you can run Control C here. So we can go here and see already over one work is already done. So that's done here. And there's a second work that we were already working on. So that's how you operate our basic Claude Code. For a UI, you can just give a picture to it and it will ask a prompt to it and it will look into picture and give you output. And for a basic backend, you have to plan, read the plan, then execute the plan and see the changes. So all the changes are done. It's doing it, showing the changes here. If I go into VS Code back, now I need to verify those changes. So this is the last part, right? We planned it, we verified it, we executed it. Now we need to sandbox test it. So this is how in VS Code we have this Git window. I'll start looking into the changes that it did. And based on the verification of the changes, I'll just make sure that how it's working. I like this change. I'll say, okay, stage it. I like this change. Redis import is good. Rate limit file. I'll click on this. So in short, you'll just verify this. And let's say all of the changes are verified. I'll write a commit to it. You can generate a message from here. You can write the word from here. Or in Claude Code, you have your own capability to write skills, write functions. So in Claude Markdown file, what you can do, you can easily add it. So I have added a skill called Caveman. Caveman is an ultra compressed communication mode. You give it a big sentence and it will always respond in only reasonable token used output. So it saves token based on saves your limit. So I'll just ask for Cayman to commit it. So when I'll run this tool in the window, what Cayman will do, read my changes, give me a message that, okay, a very technical message, what it's doing. I can take anything from here or everything from here, just copy, go into my VS Code tool, paste and comment, and it will just commit that. And then I can just basic publish, or I can just ask my VS Code to commit and push, or my own terminal AI to push. So that's how we have a mix of it. So major tooling is done via VS Code, and AI helps us in order to. So that will be all. If there's any question, thank you.
Thanks, Rizwan. It's very informative. This is where things getting interested, and because I have noticed one and other thing. It's a meme from my side. There was a time when people were hesitant to even accept the cookies in the browser, but now people are comfortable to share their personal detail, their personal data, business data, and their financial data and the information directly to AI tools. This shift happened very fast, and honestly, it should raise the concern. I want to take this deeper, something critical. How are we actually handling the security when using AI in production? Because it's very concerning for all of us. Because speed is great, but not at the cost of client trust. Hassan, I would like to take this on.
Thank you so much, Ukba, for inviting me to this webinar. And Rizwan, thank you so much for giving us the very detailed Cloud Code introduction. Now, this security question that raised by Ukba is very important and should be in every developer's or engineer's mind when they are using AI, because even a small mistake can make your life vulnerable of your app. So here I'm going to introduce couple of security features by Cloud Code, so you don't make mistakes that will hurt you in the production. Cloud, because they are positioning themselves as a code first AI model, so it is evident they will be providing us the privacy and security features as well. Today I'm going to present these four things that cloud presents. So whenever you see, there should be a trust between the person who is developing a product and the person who is using a product. Previously there was two model, the developer and the user. Now with the rise of AI, we have another partner, that is AI, Anthropic in case of cloud, and in case of ChatGPT, it would be OpenAI. Data privacy, there should be a couple of restrictions that will be going to show you, and then some that model itself will prevent us, and then the agentic safety. So when we focus on trust model, uh, Anthropic focused on three tiers. First tier is model itself. So Anthropic has trained its model to not bypass certain instructions, certain jailbreaks, and this is at model level. And another restriction would be you as an engineer. You are operator of an AI, because you are using cloud to develop an application. You need to restrict your application by prompt engineering, by adding guardrails that you are not exposing customer information into another layer. And then we should focus on the end user, because you
Makes
don't know what
sense.
user gonna say to you, and you it's not in your control. So what you need to do is you need to introduce another layer that should sit between the input and the output, so you can filter what is user is going to say and what is AI is going to return. In case of data privacy, so now data privacy can be happen through API, like you can disclose unrelated information in your output. Anthropic say that they are not using your prompts or your actual data to train. In case of paid API, you remember, whenever you are using anything free, you are giving away your privacy. So always use paid tools, because they ensure your data is not being used. Similarly, zero data retention. So they claims that we are abide by the data processing argument, which state that you cannot store anything that returned by AI on the prompt of the user. No cross customer sharing. You see, you whenever you are doing the this part basically mostly focused on the chat part of the model. So when you talk with cloud, your information is not shared with another user. It is in your own sandboxed information, stateless by default. So stateless is basic a technical term. So it means cloud has no memory between API calls. So if just like Rizwan shared two terminals, so both terminals won't have memory of what is happening on the another terminal. So that is where your data is safe and secure. How we are uh, bypassing this for our communication, it is another feature, but we can discuss later on. So what the model always refuses, as we discussed in the first layer, Anthropic has itself implemented some guardrails. So malware and exploits, whenever you ask for to anything, any application you are building that is related to malware and exploit, model itself will reject it. Critical infrastructure attacks, uh, are you using power grids, water systems, and any financial systems, or anything that is remotely related to the safety and security of a person or a country, model itself will not do that. So as an engineer, as a user, you don't need to worry about that. Data exfiltration. So this is basically, as I said earlier, your data and your database is not exposed to the other person. Child exploitation content. So this is very important with the rise of AI. When AI can do anything, it is very important your application should not allow these sensitive topics to go on. AI will do that, but you also have to input in your side. Now, as Rizwan said in his demonstration, that Claude used some tools behind that. So that tools are very important in itself. So I'm diving more about the anthropic side of things here, because that is where most of the stuff is done. So what do is Cloud has some tools that focus on minimal footprint. It prevents data to be leaked, and then there is a tool that always understand before returning that either this information is important and this information is not harmful. Prompt injection is very crucial thing. As a developer, you guys must have known about SQL injection. In times of queries, we have very critical problem that user can harm our system using SQL injections. So what we do is we sanitize our inputs, we sanitize our queries. In the same word, whatever user type, you should sanitize it, you should filter it, and have, so your prompt or user's prompt won't harm it. So whenever you are developing system, you should three things you should always remember. Safety is two ways. You should also rely on the your model. In case of Claude always prevent it, but as a second model you should also filter that, right? You should also add another layer. In case Claude hallucinate, you prevent that. API data is not used for training by default. So your API data is not being trained by cloud. Similarly, you should not use your customers information for your training as well, because you are not, either you have to disclaim that or you have to stop that. In agentic workflows, so agentic workflows, I think is the topic for the next time, because it is very important and the next revolution of our AI development. So we discussed that. So these are, I think, the important stuff that we need to make sure that implement before doing the security.
Yeah. I would like to add a famous line by you here, Hassan, that you told me last time. Then, uh, Prompting brought us here, and agents will take us further from here.
Yeah, thank you so much
Hmm.
for that.
Thank,
It is very important.
Thanks, Hassan. It's very really helpful in terms of security. If I see my work, it's very important to me as well. There is an other concern comes in my mind. What tool to use? Previously, we had standard to use the Word and then Excel for one thing, and then other tools for the whole work. But in this era, in this agentic era, in this AI era, I see there are multiple tools in the market. I see there are new tool every day. In single day, there are one tool new in the market in every single day. So, which tool used to bring the question in everyone mind? Let's address this to next guest, Arslan. So, please discuss or talk to us about the tool, which tool you are using and which is good for all of us.
Thanks, Sukba. And yeah, that's a real problem. There are new AI tool every week, and it's genuinely hard to know what's know your worth and what's it's just a noise. So I want to do something practical here. Instead of listing 20 AI tools, I'm going to show you the one that actually solved a real friction point in my workflow, and then I will connect it back to what Rizwan and Hassan already covered. So the tool is T3 Code by Theo Brown. As Rizwan showed us on Claude Code, like it's doing serious work on terminal, multi-terminal sub-agents, and read, edit, test, commit, flow, all in the terminal, and it's really powerful. But here's the problem I kept running into: when you are managing like multiple projects, 4 5 projects with multiple agent sessions, the terminal gets chaotic. So you lose track of which session is doing what, and you cannot easily see differences and what's the project level organization. So I found a tool that solved a problem for me. It's free and open source desktop app built by Theo Brown, the same person behind the T3 stack. And the thing is, it doesn't replace Claude Code. It wraps it. Claude Code is still underneath the T3 code just provides a proper interface for it. And it also works on the bring your own agent model. And currently, it has support of Claude Code and Codex as well, and future support for Gemini and other platforms. So you don't need extra subscription for that, no vendor lock-in, and you just, if you have a paid Claude Code subscription, you can just download the app, and it will auto detect your Claude Code session. So let me share my screen and show you what it actually looks like. Okay.
Yes.
As you can see, it's a simple interface with on left side I have 2 projects. I've created 2 projects and opened that so to show you how the parallelism works here. And the one is the user registration app and auth service, the similar kind of the project there is one showed us previously. So it's a simple interface, and when you download, it auto detects your Cloud code and connect with that. And as you can see, I have Cloud Code connected, and on Codex it's showing disabled, and it has future plans for Cursor, Open Code, and Gemini. I have set the model to Claude Sonnet 4.6, effort as medium, to show you some quick demonstration of how that works. On the right side, I can add some actions, key bindings to that, and also I can open my projects directly into VS Code or Cursor. There's also option to directly commit and push and create PR from the interface. And on the right side, it has an option to toggle the terminal. Let me show you something. As you can see, it there are 2 projects. I have opened those. On the first project, I will give it a prompt in a user registration app, like Add input validation to the API register endpoint. Name must not be empty, must be a valid format. Password must be at least 8 characters. Return clear error messages. It's a proper project with have some minimal code, and I am giving a prompt here. And meanwhile, I just give a prompt to another project like explain this repo. So to show how to manage multiple projects, you guys can see it has created 2 threads for that, and one is explaining the repo, and the other one is working on the registration endpoint. It's pretty much powerful. Like if you are working on the multiple projects and you get context of what which thread is doing what for which project, and here it's very powerful. I found it very effective in my workflow. As you guys can see, the one is completed. uh, it's it has implemented the task. The other one is also completed. And to see what is implemented, I can check diff checker. It has a diff checker as well. And as you guys can see, it has implemented both tasks, and I can see the diffs from here. And also if I can also commit from there, like if I can make any commit, push, or create NPR. If I go to the settings and see, I can make some system-wide changes or any changes to the app, like I can connect my codecs and other key bindings. If I connect that to what Hassan covered regarding the security model in detail, it uses number one, it uses the bring your own agent model. Like you don't have to purchase any separate subscription for the T3 code. It just use your own Anthropic subscription. And good thing is that if you have a paid Anthropic API key, so it means the Anthropic does not train on your data. So on the second thing, everything is local. Repos, sessions, and thread history all works on my machine. The GUI doesn't change the security model. It adds a review layer on top of it. Another thing, it's a div viewer. It's not working as expected, but it shows the real power of like to review your code before pushing or committing. So you can see the changes what the agent has implemented, and what you need to keep and what you need to discard. So, if we see some rules to follow as a team, number one, like Hassan shared, use API plans, not free tiers for production code. Number two, never paste your secrets into prompts. And number three, sanitize client data before asking AI. And number four, use git ignore. It matters more than ever because agents read your whole project folder. And number five, always review diffs before pushing. So to wrap up, if you are coding, if you are using Claude Code in the terminal like Rizwan showed, T3 code gives you a better experience without changing your workflow. Same engine, but with the project management, visual differences, and some multi-agent control. It's free, open source, and your code stays on your machine. The URL of this is the t3 code dot t3.codes, and you can get or make a Google search and it will be shown up to you. And that's pretty much. Back to you, Kla.
Thanks, Arslan. T3 really game changer. Navigating the sea of tools and selecting the right one is exactly where most of the team get stuck. But the right approach, with the right approach, it's not just about the using tool. It's about the optimization. It's about drive the result fastly, and you have given the roadmap to do just that. You are using for StrategistHub. Thanks, guys, for joining us today and give us the overview of and your expertise. And thanks. As we wrap up today's session, remember this: AI is more than just a tool, it's a shift in how we work. It's about working smarter, moving faster, and opening new opportunities. Thank you all for joining us today. Stay tuned, we will be back with new insights and see you in the next session. Bye bye.